for a few months I stay with brothers in the local church, in their houses, So it's a price you pay for your faith.
The Stand Radio, Saturdays at 4 and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central on American Family Radio.
It's First Time Caller Day on Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
It is first-time callers, so start lining up, folks. If you've never been on the show with us, today could be your day.
So first-time callers only today. Now we're going to ask 3 questions each.
The quack of a duck does not produce an echo. Is that true or false?
That falls under the category of it's just wrong.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Friday here on American Family Radio. First-time callers only today, as you just heard us say. So if you've never got on the program before and you want to ask or answer or both, we prefer that you do both. Ask a trivia and answer one of ours. We welcome your phone calls. I'm Tim Wildman with Ed Vitagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
JJ Jasper.
Great to be here. Fellow woke up very early this morning. It was still dark. The man said, I may go running this morning and I may win the lottery today. The odds of either of those happening are the same. I think we've all been there.
We've all had days like that.
Yeah. Hey, what's the phone number, Ed?
The phone number to call if you want to get on the show. Again, this is first-time callers only, which means if you have never been on the air with us for Trivia Friday, you call in. You might get on with us. The number to call is 888-589-8840. That's 888-589-8840.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody, to American Family Radio. If you want to watch this show, there are 3 ways. First, we have our own video streaming service that we provide called Streaming. Here's the website, streaming.afa.net. streaming.afa.net, or you can go to Facebook Live, Today's Issues. You can check us out there. And then we have YouTube. Just type in, you go to YouTube, type in Today's Issues. What is it, Brent?
Live.
I forget it. Live?
Today's Issues
live stream.
So if you type in Today's Issues Dead Stream, we don't know where you're going to end up, okay? Probably not good. But Today's Issues live stream for the YouTube.
We're also
channel.
on streaming on Twitter.
Oh, we are now?
American Family Radio on Twitter.
It's called
Or
X now, right?
Yes.
We'll always call it Twitter, but
Right.
it's called, what do you type in there?
American Family Radio.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. I guess we're ready to give our questions,
Well,
fellas.
one of our mystery questions. One of
Oh,
these,
yes.
One of these
Sorry.
original 9 is a mystery question. You don't know which one it is, but if you happen to land on it correctly, you'll hear this sound. That
Yes.
means you
Beloved
that's
cowbell
beloved
shall ring.
cowbell. You're going to win a nice stainless steel travel mug, AFR travel mug.
Yes, I don't know. Is this trick getting old? Me balancing it on my head?
You know
I
what?
think you ought to
I'm
give
going to
it
do
a
it one
rest.
more time.
I skip
Give it a rest.
I think so.
I'd skip it and then let the anticipation build for a couple of weeks,
Okay.
and then you show it to them again, and then you
Okay.
And then you might want to up the ante and come in here with stilts and have it on your head while you're on stilts.
or ride around on a unicycle
I like the way you
Or
think,
a pogo
Ed.
stick.
or a pogo stick.
A pogo stick?
Pogo stick.
Yeah. All right. So we are ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Go ahead.
Ready to go. All right. Oh, by the way, you need to be 11 years old or older
Right.
to be on the air with us. That's what we ask folks to observe. All right. Here are my 3 questions. First, I do want to apologize. Last week, I had a question about the first Gentile convert in the book of Acts, and somebody called in with a different answer. And apparently there is some question. I've always been taught that Cornelius, who was a Roman soldier, was the first Gentile convert. Some people think it might have been the Ethiopian eunuch or even Simon Magus. I
Open
did
to
want to,
interpretation.
yeah, open to a
Well-
little bit of interpretation. So
That did separate the Presbyterians from the Pentecostals.
Yes, that's right. It was a big split.
It was a big split
Last
back
century,
in the
yeah.
16th century.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
that's right.
Middle of the 16th century.
Yeah. So,
I mean, read your church history.
yes, that's right. Which I'm going to do.
Yes, dude.
Tonight, Friday night.
Please read your church history.
Friday nights when I always read a little church history
Yeah.
by candlelight. So. All right, here are my 3 questions. And I'll start off with a Bible question, so I hope I get this one right. Only one of Jesus' disciples accompanied him all the way to the crucifixion. Which disciple was it? Only one of Jesus' disciples accompanied him all the way to the crucifixion. Which disciple was it? Second question. Most people think the birthplace of the motion picture industry was in Hollywood, but it's actually in New Jersey. Is that true or false? Most people think that the birthplace of the motion picture industry was in Hollywood, but it's actually in New Jersey. Is that true or false? And then, what state has the motto, Old Line State? What state has the motto, Old Line State?
So you're talking, we're having some fun with the different interpretation and all that. You know, I've got a joke for every single topic.
Yeah?
Along those lines, there was a monk, and he was in the basement of the monastery going over these, 1,000-year-old documents with original Greek and Hebrew, and all of a sudden, echoing all over the monastery, you heard him wailing and said, "Oh no, the word was celebrate."
Oh,
Might have
wow.
to really think about that one.
That's going to hit some people.
That's
later
right.
on
They're
in
going
the
to
day.
sit up in bed and say, "I got
Yeah,
that."
but the monks will-
Priest, monks,
the
the
monks-
original word celebrate.
The monks will never know. They don't listen to radio.
That's
Hey, here's
Oh.
what I've got. Here's what I've got. First question: the period of Judges. Thinking about in the Scripture, the Book of Judges, you had Deborah, Gideon. Who was Israel's last judge? That's my question. Who was Israel's last judge? Second question: what river forms most of the border between Georgia and Alabama? What river forms most of the border between Georgia and Alabama?
Georgia and Alabama River? Really? I mean, that's
Yeah, that's the river is what's
Okay.
most of the
Hmm.
border. And then and then March Madness. So here's my question. Name 3 of the top 5 winners of the NCAA men's basketball championships. Now, I know Tim Wildman.
from any year, you mean?
No, all time winners. Which basketball teams have the most national
Oh, I see.
championships? But thinking about Tim and you, Ed, one of our co-workers, Drew, who knows sports like you guys, when I pitched that to him, I said, I want to know 3 of the top 5 all-time winners of the all-time championships. He said, okay. He said, now do you want the years too?
Oh, man.
he's like you guys. So that's my 3 college basketball teams with the most national championships. All I want is 3 out of the top 5. Now, I will say this. In the number 4 slot, it's a 3-way tie, so that actually gives you
okay.
3 out of 7.
Yeah.
And it's teams that you know that just keep winding up in the Final Four year after year.
All right, here are my 3 questions. Number 1, what are the 3? This is spring is here, right?
It's
Okay.
very close.
Spring is sprung, and so people are looking forward to getting out in their yards and gardens and flower beds and all
some
that.
people are,
Some
yeah.
people, yes.
And
Duly noted.
Those of you sneezing with red eyes, here's something for you. No pollen formed against you shall prosper. Declared in 3:16.
He really does have a joke for every
Yes.
occasion.
Every topic, every occasion.
That joke Rolodex spins around. He comes up with JJ comes up with something for every moment. All right, so here we go. I want the 3 most sold flowers in the U.S. I'm talking about
That's good.
not for funerals or celebrations necessarily, but I'm talking about to put in your yard, your flower bed, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Good.
The 3 most sold flowers in the U.S. And number 2, why did Elvis Presley not perform outside of the U.S. or Canada? U.S. and Canada. He never performed outside of the U.S., and I think only had 1 or 2 dates in Canada, even though he was a worldwide sensation. Why was that?
Here's the deal.
What was the reason for that?
He was only able to say thank you very much in English. He couldn't do that in French or German or anything else. And when you're limited in that way, it keeps you from having a worldwide tour.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so anyway, I have my question. This is a American geographical question, which
All right.
I have a lot. And in honor of our native Kentuckian here, J.J. Jasper, what states does Kentucky border?
Oh, good question.
I had Pennsylvania a few weeks ago, but what states do Kentucky border? Without looking it up. If you can do it without looking it up, I'll send you an AFR stainless steel travel mug.
Wow,
right
that's
Now
good.
they can look it up and answer it. They just wouldn't win the cup.
They wouldn't win the cup. That's right. And it's a stainless steel.
Oh, that's a
It's
big
a-
deal.
It's a silver cup. It's a silver cup.
Yes,
You're going to win the silver cup. You hear what I'm saying?
that's right.
Hey, guys, let me pause. We have some 8 Days of Hope volunteers outside of our window there. They're waving. And I was on location. John Riley was there all week. But I was on location and met people from New York, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. I'd see a bunch of young people, and they'd have cowboy hats on. I said, where are you guys from? Texas. I said, who knew?
Yeah.
And I mean, they were from 35 states, even Canada. 1,800 people in Amory, Mississippi with 8 Days of Hope. 20. What a wonderful ministry. Pray for them as they're finishing up with safety and then safety as they return home.
Amen.
Amen. Go to the phones.
All right, let's go to Tennessee, and Barry is on the line. Barry, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, Barry.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Is that B-A-R-R-Y or B-E-R-R-Y?
B-A-R-R-Y.
Okay, because I knew a guy named Barry.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
first name was Straw. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
man.
I just came up with
Bless
that.
your
Barry,
heart.
I apologize for that. You didn't.
They called him
deserve that.
Straw.
You didn't deserve that on a Friday.
I'm sorry, Barry. I'm sorry.
That's quite okay.
Where do you live in Tennessee, Barry?
A little town called New Johnsonville, right on the Tennessee River.
Well, that's very specific. I'm
That's,
just gonna.
It is. It's
yeah,
very
you're ma-
specific. Yeah.
you're making fun of me
Yes.
for being
Well,
corny?
It's catchy.
Huh?
It's just catchy.
Okay.
All right,
you
you want
have to do the father jokes.
the what?
The father jokes, the dad jokes. You have
Oh,
to
yeah,
do it.
that's right.
Dad jokes.
Got to throw a few of those in.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
father jokes. That sophistication threw me off as the king
Yeah,
of dad
I-
jokes.
All right,
That's exactly right.
Barry, you want to ask, answer, or do both, brother?
May I do both, please?
You sure may. Which one you want to answer?
The old line state, please.
Oh, okay. What state has the motto "Old Line State"?
That would be Maryland.
Maryland. That
Really?
is correct.
Old line. You have any backstory?
Yeah,
on that?
it earned the nickname in the American Revolution because the state's regiments of regulars achieved a reputation as the saviors of the Continental Army in the cause of independence,
They were holding the line.
holding the line.
Wow.
So
Very
how
good.
did you know that, Barry? Did you look that up, or did you just?
I have a friend that makes goose calls. I'm in the duck call business, and how I happened to get in this, I work for a Jewish carpenter, and I almost died in 2015 from Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and the Lord gave me this business. I make duck calls. So y'all are the official radio station of this company.
Oh,
Wow.
all right.
Well, we're honored.
Yes, we
now,
are.
with you making duck calls, I just have to ask: is your beard 2 feet long or 2.5 feet long? Because there's the Phil and all the rest. They've kind of Uncle Si. They kind of got a standard for you guys now.
They have set that standard, but my wife will not let me adhere to that standard.
Your wife has a different standard. All us
Yeah.
married
Now-
men know what that means.
Yes. Now my beard is trimmed, and it's showing very wise things.
Yeah,
wisdom.
Yes. Hey, Barry, you didn't ask for this. The duck calls. How can people give us a website if people are interested?
Now,
Oh,
he's
you can look
I
me
mean,
up
goose
on-
calls.
Yeah.
Well, I make duck calls. My friend in Maryland makes goose calls.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to look me up on Facebook or Instagram, that would be Orange Feet Custom Calls. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, that's a
Orange
clever
feet.
orange feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
of
You
geese.
make
Duck calls.
duck calls. I
duck
keep
calls,
wrong.
and the guys in the Robertsons make.
They
Duck
make
calls.
duck calls. Yeah.
They make there's different types of frame duck calls. I make a J frame, and Robertson, they make a Louisiana style call. There's different style of duck
Hey,
calls.
So you make what kind?
The J frame, Arkansas style duck calls.
Sure.
I just recently
what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's laughing like I don't know what I'm talking about. He laughed right in my face. Hey Barry,
No,
you
sir, I
got you
wouldn't
got
do that.
no, you got one of those. You got one of your duck calls right in front of you. There?
Andy, we'd like to hear.
I do. Yes,
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
in the shop.
Let's hear one.
Let's play a tune.
We'll
Hey,
do a couple. Do a couple of
Yeah.
different ones that you'd bring up, like
Right,
those in a bad mood, one of them wounded or in distress.
Go ahead.
I'll do a greeter. I tell people when I teach people how to blow a duck call, I'll say this is a greeter, and then I'll ask them, how does Jesus greet us? And that's John 3:16. He
Oh.
loves us. So here's a greeter. Now then I'll go to like a feed call, which I go Revelation 3:20. Behold, Jesus is standing at your door, and if you open it, he'll feed you. He'll come in and be your friend. And here's a feed call.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah.
realistic.
That's cool.
You know what, Barry?
you, Barry.
My son would love you. My sons, they duck hunt every once in a while. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just invested here recently in a company that makes deer calls. So, what do you
I think that's actually illegal.
Well, and he does it at night when he's spotlighting deer.
Yeah. All right, Barry, ask, answer, or both.
Well, he
What do you
already
want?
answered.
He already
at
did. All
one.
right, what do you want to ask? Ask.
Oh yes. The program heretofore
There we
last
go.
week,
nice?
I was kind of disappointed y'all didn't have a World War II question, but here's my question to y'all. General George S. Patton was a second cousin to this famous Marine. Who was he?
George Patton, General George Patton was a what now to what now?
Second cousin.
To this famous Marine?
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to guess. I don't really know. And Tim and JJ may have different guesses. I'm going to say Chesty Puller.
I'll say Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy?
I'm going to go with Ed on the Chesty Puller.
That's an absolute guess. I don't know. So
What's the
Yes,
answer,
Lewis-
Barry?
Louis Burwell Puller, also known as Chesty Puller. Very
Way
good.
to go, guys.
Way to
right.
go. That was Ed. Way to go.
it was a
buddy.
guess.
I was going to guess
Gomer, Gomer Pyle.
Yeah, but I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was a reach.
That's right. Yeah, you got a little closer to
I
dead
did it.
center.
Anyway.
Hey, Barry, have a good
Audie.
weekend and there in Tennessee, and the Lord bless you. Thank you for the way you love the Lord and
Amen.
evangelical and giving God all the glory with your company there. Lord bless Barry and his
Wow.
business and everything.
I didn't. I honestly didn't. I don't hunt ducks, or I'll hunt food in the refrigerator when I get hungry. But I didn't realize there were different calls for ducks like that, feed call and all that.
I
Like
was
you-
I was privileged to hear Phil last year. It's the first time I ever heard him, and he did a pregnancy center thing, and he had a bunch of calls hanging around his neck, and he did similar. He just here's one call, here's another. It was amazing how realistic. I'm not a duck hunter, but how realistic it sounded.
Yeah.
Many ducks have callings on their life.
And they need to fulfill those callings.
they do.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
All right, we
next
go
up.
go to Michigan, and Jim is on the line. Jim, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, guys, I'm honored.
Well, hey, Brother Jim. Thanks for calling, man. Where do you live in Michigan?
Comstock Park, it's a suburb of Grand Rapids, Gerald Ford town.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, one of my best friends is from Grand Rapids, lives here now, but and then I've got a really good friend in Fremont, if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah, I used to work out of Fremont some.
I flew into Grand Rapids, and boy, they have Gerald Ford stuff everywhere. The airport is almost a memorial to him. What a incredible athlete
is.
and a politician and statesman.
All right, Jim, ask, answer, or both?
I'm going to do both.
All right, which one you want to answer?
I'll do the NCAA one, seeing how we're at March Madness time.
Here we go, Jim. Here's what I need. I'm looking for the college basketball teams with the most national championships. Of course, talking about Division I, NCAA men's basketball. Only 15 teams have won multiple national championships. You just give me 3 out of the top 5.
I'll say UCLA, Duke, and North Carolina.
UCLA, number 1 with
Gotta be.
11. Thank you, Coach Wooden. And what was
Wooden,
Wooden? What was the next one you said?
wasn't it?
Duke
Duke is on
and
there.
North Carolina.
And North Carolina is number 3, and Duke number 4, and also tied for number 4. Guys, tell me who else.
Kentucky
comes to mind.
Wildcats.
I was going to say Kentucky.
Kentucky's number 2, and then in the number 4 slot is Duke, Indiana, and UConn. No
Tied.
surprise there. Tied. Number 5, Kansas. They show up year after year in
Yeah.
the Sweet 16, Final Four.
Right.
So yeah. Hey, you got it right. Way to go,
Way
buddy.
to go.
Jim, what's your question?
Thanks.
What's your question for us?
There is a sport where the defense has the ball. Do you know what sport that is?
Shuffleboard comes to mind.
Shuffleboard. That a big
I mean,
team-
that's right off
a
top.
big,
That's
big team
admittedly
sport.
that's right off the top of my head.
It's a big team
I-
sport, shuffleboard.
Well,
Well, let's think what other sports are on.
All right,
cru-
well, don't
cruise
say
ships
anything. Don't
so
say
we can narrow it down.
Yeah. Don't say anything, Jim. We're going to talk amongst
Yeah.
ourselves. I don't know anything about rugby. What is rugby a sport that has the defense has the ball? They have a ball.
I
so
just know that football players cry when they play rugby. You
That's
want
a
man
man's
You
sport.
want a man's sport?
Gladiator.
Medieval.
That's
Right.
right.
Okay, it's
All right, we don't know, so let's
Yeah.
go with Ed's guess. Is it
Oh.
rugby?
No, it's baseball.
oh my goodness,
Well, you ought to,
that's
listen. I'm not gonna hold on just a second here, because I don't
He's
want to.
not going to go down
I don't
easy.
want to. I don't want to. No, I don't want to hurt. I don't want to offend you two guys because we need to work together for a long time, hopefully. But y'all didn't even give me a chance to think about that.
Wait, you said shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard, but that was
Shuffleboard.
just one guess off the top of my head. If you'd give me
Were you
30
going to guess
if
baseball?
you'd give
really?
me 30
was not
seconds, I
gonna-
probably could have come up with that.
You were not going to
major
guess.
sport.
I don't know why, but I would
baseball.
never have come up with baseball. But
Yeah.
that's true.
Isn't it? It's a good trivia question
good
little
for your, when your family gets together. I have never been on the show. I've waited for years to give that question to you. I'm just so pleased you didn't get it.
Well, Jim, I'm glad you made it.
But you
Hey,
stump the
now,
professor.
now, when you think of oddities like that, with Jim saying, they say there's a sport that nobody knows who's winning till it's over. That's boxing. Then the sport that has more referees than anybody, immediately you
You
think,
should not be giving these
no,
away. These
I
are good
have over the
questions.
years. But you think, who has more refs than anybody? You're thinking, okay, the umpires, football, but it's tennis. You have more of those linemen, more of the people for tennis than you do any other sport. Maybe it's per players. Hey, Jim, that's great, buddy. Thank you for listening to AFR. You have a great weekend.
I don't know what
But
it was
the
about that
defense having
question,
the
but
ball.
I just would not have thought of that.
The defense has the ball. Yeah.
Well, from now on,
I would have got that. I would have.
we'll from now on, JJ and I will wait.
We'll wait.
We'll
Play some bumper music. Like dun, dun,
If I
dun,
look
dun,
over
dun,
at you
dun,
like,
dun.
and I got that gleam in my eye, then you'll know I'm about to get it. Okay.
the gleam.
All right.
We'll look for the gleam, brother.
Gleam, isn't that like a toothpaste or something too?
There is a toothpaste called Gleam.
Wait, I don't think it's Gleam. I think it's something else. You got
There
Crest
used to be
and another
Gleam.
one called, was there Gleam?
There used to be
Gleam?
Where are y'all shopping?
Gleam was popular back in the 70s, wasn't it, Ed?
That's
You remember
right.
the-
And I used to use it in my hair.
I think you're thinking a little Gleam of
JJ's
Duya.
family were uppity.
Yeah,
They had Crest.
They had
Yeah,
Crest.
right. We'll be back momentarily and reset our questions here on Trivia Friday.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
Back during World War II, there was a prisoner of war camp along the River Kwai. Men were carried there following their capture. In this camp, there were forced labor, a handful of rice a day to live on, disease, starvation, hopelessness, and death. Trapped in this situation, the prisoners forgot their humanness and became more animal than human. They became selfish, stealing from their comrades' food and belongings. After one died, the others would jump like vultures to get the dead man's meager valuables. This went on for some time. Then, one day, a man was left to die. A fellow prisoner found him, and for some unexplained reason began to care for him. He dressed the diseased body as best he could, even shared with the man some of his food. When asked why he did it, he said he wasn't sure, except that he thought that somewhere in the Bible it said that this was what one should do. Soon his act of kindness spread around the camp. It was followed by another, and then another. Before long, the camp had been changed from a hell on earth to a camp of help and hope. Selfishness was replaced by selflessness. Greed was replaced by gratitude, and stealing was replaced by sharing. The gradual transformation came to a high climax one day. A group of men at work as a detachment had finished their day's work and were preparing to return to their quarters. When the guard counted the shovels which the men had been working with, he counted one too few. He faced the men and demanded to know who had hidden it. No one spoke. He again demanded that the one who had hidden the shovel step forward. No one moved. He then drew his gun and shouted that he would kill the whole detachment if the guilty one did not step forward. The men sensed that he meant it. Soon one soldier stepped forward, saying that he had taken the shovel. The guard beat him and kicked him. The soldier was released from the pain through death long before the guard stopped beating. It was an incident which, if it had happened just a short time before, would have ended with a whole detachment being killed. But because of the transformation of the camp by the kind deed of one man, all the others lived. We are surprised how far one kind deed will go toward healing the wounds of sickness, both physical and spiritual. Our Creator made us to respond to love with love. It is something that our society could use at this time, this expression of love. How powerful is the power of love. Well, when they returned to the camp, the guard counted the shovels again. There were none missing. He had miscounted before. The man had not taken the shovel. He had lied for love. And still somebody says the Galilean's way is out of date.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
You know, there's so much peer pressure and so many eroding factors in our culture that are bringing in the idea that gender is fluid and that somehow orientation is fixed, which is the other way around.
Satan is a specialist in confusion and manipulation in order to fool people into believing his lies.
You know, what are the intrinsic value of femininity? What is the intrinsic value of masculinity? Is it okay to be a man? Is it okay to be a woman?
And even using the church in his schemes.
It's a place where the church ought to be able to respond more graciously.
In the special edition DVD from the AFA Cultural Institute, Practical Ways to Minister to the Sexually Broken, Stephen Black and Laura Lee Stanlake help us understand and deal with the questions and struggles of identity and show us how we can effectively and gracefully share God's truth. Order it today when you visit resources.afa.net.
Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew 19:14.
American Family Radio.
right, that's the theme from Little House on the Prairie. Very popular show back in the 70s. That is still on TV. It's a Hallmark channel, I think, a Hallmark Family Channel or something like that. Allison, my wife, and I were watching it with our grandchildren the other day.
It's a great show.
Yeah, Little House on the Prairie, just a great show. And
JJ,
my daughter Tegan, she binge watches it. She got turned onto it, and now she can't stop. She watches it.
you
every
watch
day.
the kids on that thing grow up. I mean,
right?
Because it was on for a long time.
Well, the wholesome values, and family, God, country, it's all in there.
Well, now, aren't you going to speak on the prairie somewhere? Where are you at some little church on the prairie?
I'm going to be home on the range.
I like that.
Well,
that was well played.
That's a good transition, wasn't
Yes, it was. We call that a segue
Yeah.
in radio. Hey, next Thursday night and next Saturday night, I have some opportunities. Next Thursday night, stand-up comedy at Hillcrest Baptist Church in New Albany, Mississippi, a free event. Is to benefit First Choice Center for Women. And then next Saturday night.
It's free, but it's going to benefit somebody?
Well, we're going to take a love offering, receive a love offering for
You're
the
gonna take
pregnancy
it or
center.
receive it?
Receive it. How about
Okay,
that?
yeah.
And then a free event,
proud.
dessert afterwards, yes. And then I've been telling you about this one. Next Saturday night, I'm going to be in Mason City, Iowa, at the North Iowa Area Community College. And that benefit is for North Iowa Christian School. I was there 9 years ago. I told you guys it was like January or February. It's the first time that I saw ice fishing out there on the lake coming from Minneapolis, St. Paul to Mason City. But I can't wait. It was standing room only 9 years ago, and they've sold over 600 tickets.
Hey, we have
for
four
the
folks
event.
from Iowa
We just
watching
met some
the
people
show.
from Iowa.
Yeah, they're here helping with 8 Days of Hope. All right, let's repeat our questions, guys.
All right. I will add a question. I've had one answered. First question. Only one of Jesus' disciples accompanied him all the way to the crucifixion. Which disciple was it? Second question. Most people think the birthplace of the motion picture industry was in Hollywood, but it's actually in New Jersey. Is that true or false? And then third question. I'm going to make this a multiple choice. Okay. What is the fastest bird on earth? We're talking flying. What is the fastest bird on earth? Is it the golden eagle, the spur-winged goose, the peregrine falcon, or the red-tailed hawk? The fastest bird on the earth. Yeah.
You need those last three words in the question?
What is the fastest bird?
Our last that's two words? Yes, this is Tim being a smart aleck, but I'm making a point. Yes. Do you need the last two words in your question? Would be my
all I'm going to say
counselor.
to you, Tim, is shuffleboard. That's what I'm going to say. Okay? Just shuffleboard. Well, I understand your question. You're technically right.
Ask the
What
question
is
without
the
the last
fastest bird
That's all you need. So
on Earth.
You need to save your oxygen.
Yes,
you're going to need it down the road.
Yes, that's right. I can live an extra couple of days in the nursing home. That's what I can do. Thanks.
All right,
that's what I
JJ,
Here's what I've got. First question, thinking about the book of Judges, the period of Judges in the Bible. My question is, who was Israel's last judge? Who was Israel's last judge?
You don't need the last two words in that question.
Who's Israel's last judge on earth?
I'm just kidding with you.
Second question, what river forms most of the border between Georgia and Alabama? What river forms most of the border between Georgia and Alabama? Then I'll add one, true or false. True or false, a soccer ball was used in basketball until 1929. Is that true or false? A soccer ball was actually used in basketball until 1929. True or false?
All right, my three questions. Number one is, what are the top three most sold flowers in the U.S.? You go to your nursery or wherever you go to buy your flowers to put in your garden or your yard.
Your garden on earth.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Ed.
Well, you got self-rising, so we'll start with that one. I think that's Golden Seal, or I don't remember the exact
Martha
brand.
White.
Martha White.
Yeah.
Self-rising flower.
Yeah. I'm not talking about them kind of flowers. I'm talking about the kind you put in your garden. So anyway, that kind of flower. So there you go. The top 3 selling flowers in the U.S. Number 2, what states border Kentucky? And if you can tell me what states border Kentucky, and you don't even have to look it up, we'll send you an AFR stainless steel travel mug, right to your home address.
And if you can tell how many revenuers there are per state that join. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I just got triggered.
All right, number 3, why did Elvis Presley not perform outside of the U.S. or Canada? Even though he was world famous and popular everywhere, why did Elvis Presley not ever perform anywhere outside the U.S. except for Canada, I think 1 or 2 times? Back to the phones, Ed.
All right, folks, we're just reminding you it is first-time callers only today, first-time callers only. We go next to West Virginia and Jeremiah. Jeremiah is on the line. Jeremiah, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thanks for having me.
Are you a prophet, Jeremiah?
No.
Okay.
Tim's asking. Tim and his wife, Allison, they go through the Bible. They listen to it, and they're in Jeremiah right now, and it just seems like it's never going to end.
Yeah, Jeremiah. But anyway, ask, answer, or what, Jeremiah?
I will do both.
All right, which one do you want to answer?
The one about the Kentucky State?
Here we go.
Okay,
Oh,
all right. And by the way, where do you live in West Virginia?
Elkins, Randolph County.
Okay. Elkins, West Virginia. Jeremiah calls in, and he wants to answer the question. What are the states that border Kentucky? Did you look this up, or do you know it in memory?
I know it.
All right, go.
Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois.
To what? Tell me again what you said now. What now?
Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois.
Good guess.
In West Virginia.
Okay, in West Virginia. Yeah, good guess. Indiana's not in there. Wait, no, hold on, excuse me. Indiana is in there. So, you're correct. Okay, how many did you give total, Jeremiah?
He gave 5, I think, when he added West Virginia.
All right.
Go over it again, and then
please,
check them off.
Yeah, this is my fault. I'm 61 now, and I'm not as sharp as I used to be. Say it real slow.
So West Virginia, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois.
Okay, you're missing some.
A couple.
Yeah. But anyway, good guess. Those you listed do border Kentucky. That is correct, but you're missing. You want to? I'm going to give you one more chance. You want to finish that off? Can you think of the other 2 states?
Virginia and
well, I didn't
Iowa,
hear that.
Maybe.
I didn't hear that.
Virginia and Iowa.
Virginia is correct. Iowa is
not correct.
Is incorrect. Yeah. Yeah. So we can't do this forever.
Hey, Jeremiah, I'm changing
good
the
guesses.
subject. You ever been to any of those ramp festivals there in Elkin? The ramp?
Nope.
Nope. But you've eaten some though, right?
Not really.
And you know how every region has its own food, like Owensboro, Kentucky, Button and Burgoo. They have ramp festivals.
What is
like
that?
like a peach festival or strawberry? It's like a leek from the Old Testament, kind of like a wild onion. But they have all kinds of they have events like the ramp recipes and ramp festival there in Elkins, West Virginia. Isn't that interesting how different foods in different parts of the country?
Go ahead with your question.
I look at Elkins as like the home for the Mountain State Forest Festival.
Oh, there you go. Hey, what's your question for us, Jeremiah?
So, out of all the presidents, 4 were assassinated. List in chronological order the numbers the ones that were assassinated, from the first one to the last one.
All right, don't say anything, Jeremiah. We're going to talk amongst ourselves. If you go backwards, obviously it's JFK and then Lincoln, right? Or was there somebody between Lincoln and JFK that was assassinated?
I'm trying to think. I think
know,
that's
JJ?
right.
Can you?
No, I know there's a couple of some of those that aren't household words in there, but I don't remember.
We don't know, Jeremiah. What are they?
Was
What's the answer? Besides the two I gave.
First one was Abraham Lincoln. Second one was James Garfield. Third one was William McKinley. And the last one was JFK.
Yeah. And security for the presidents, I mean, that increased over for those reasons. I mean, a lot in the olden days, I'm talking about JFK and prior to, they would be exposed a lot.
Riding in a
or walking down the
in
street.
a convertible.
Back in the old days,
shaking hands and right.
So, anyway, and if you think about it, the way that John Wilkes Booth was able to get access to Abraham Lincoln, that could never happen today. That should have never happened.
Right.
So anyway, Jeremiah, that's an excellent question.
Sure is.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you calling from West Virginia. And he made a good guess. I think he got 6 of the 7.
And in full disclosure, he's not a prophet or a bullfrog. I think we need to make
Nor is he weeping right now.
Make
He's
that
very happy.
clear.
He's a very happy guy there. Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Go back to the phones here, Ed.
Okay. We're going to Michigan and Jim. I don't know if this is the same Jim we had before, but Jim, welcome to Trivia Friday, I think. Are you a different Jim?
No, it's a different Jim because I knew the answer to that. It was baseball.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So two Jims.
Two Jims from Michigan.
And one of them asked, and the other one knows the answer to it. But that's
right. I've got a lot of help for you guys. Any of you guys listening to Albert Mohler, you get their blog?
We're very familiar with Albert Mohler. Yeah, and he's, excellent Bible.
Would have helped you when you were dealing with the Queen. What's the purpose of the Queen in England?
The purpose of the Queen?
They did that a few years ago.
What's the answer?
She's the head of state. So the president meets the Queen, but when the prime minister comes over, it's the Secretary of State that meets him.
Interesting.
Even today, that's true?
Yes. Only now we have a king.
Yeah, but okay. That's interesting.
Interesting. Hey, so you want to answer one of our questions, Jim?
No, I still have more stuff to tell you, but anyway.
Okay. What else you want to tell us?
Well, I need to correct Tim about. I'm gonna take that kid's one that he just answered, and I'll give you the one that he missed. What state's Kentucky?
All right. What name all 7?
Name the states that border Kentucky.
Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, and Missouri.
There you go.
I don't think he said Tennessee, but he meant to.
And Tennessee at the bottom. I'm sorry.
And you were going to correct me? And I'm open to correction, Jim, but I just think karma came back to you, my friend. Listen, just the states that border Kentucky, as Jim just told us, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee, Missouri, and Illinois. I don't know that any state, maybe Missouri has more.
Yeah, it's not
border.
It's not the most, but because
it's
like
close though.
Other, that's right. It's way up there.
All right, Jim. What's your question for us?
Wait. Did Jim know the answer to that without looking it up? Because isn't that?
Yeah.
Yes, I did not look it up.
Yeah. So we'll.
I listened to the kid, but I didn't look it up.
Okay. All right, we'll send you a AFR stainless steel travel mug coming your way there, brother.
You technically didn't get Tennessee, it's not going to have a handle on it. But don't take that.
But we're going to voluntarily send it to you anyway.
That's
there
right.
You go.
So don't hang up when we're through. When we're through, Jim, don't hang up. We'll put you on hold. Cindy Roberts will get your information, and we'll send you the travel mug, okay?
My question for JJ is that here's the deal. You guys love Southern smoked turkey. We Northerners would like smoked turkey too. We just can't figure out how you get those turkeys to smoke those little cigarettes.
Oh, that's good. That's
well,
good. Hey, stay on the line, Jim, so we can get your address and send you that travel mug. Have a great weekend.
Was he? Did he correct me?
I don't know if he got around to it.
Yeah.
You might have been having trouble getting that log out of his eye before he pulled that splinter out of your eye.
All right,
he did a great job, though.
Yes, you did, Jim. Two Jims from Michigan on the same day. What are the chances of that happening?
Pretty great.
Yeah. The odds of that. All right, Trivia Friday is on American Family Radio. Let's repeat our questions, guys, quickly.
All right. Only one of Jesus' disciples accompanied him all the way to the crucifixion. Which disciple was it? Second question. Most people think the birthplace of the motion picture industry was in Hollywood, but it's actually in New Jersey. Is that true or false? And then what is the fastest bird on Earth? That's a multiple choice. Is it the golden eagle? Is it the spur-winged goose? Is it the peregrine falcon, or is it the red-tailed hawk?
So if you give us the fastest bird on Venus, that's not what we're looking for.
No,
we
that's
will
not
send
what-
you. We'll send you a
Well,
AFR travel mug.
And that
Fastest bird on
that
Venus.
spur-winged goose, I think it won the fastest car on the salt flats there in the Bonneville. All right, here's what I've got. First question. We're thinking of the book of Judges in the Bible. Who was Israel's last judge? Who was Israel's last judge? Second question. What river forms most of the border between the U.S. states Georgia and Alabama? Third question. True or false, a soccer ball was actually used in basketball until 1929. Is that true or false? A soccer ball was used in basketball until 1929.
All right, I got two questions left. One is, why did Elvis Presley not perform outside of the U.S. and Canada, even though he was world famous with his, singing and such? Number two question is, what are the top three best-selling flowers in the U.S.? You go to buy flowers to put in your garden or your flower bed or out in your yard or whatever. What are the top three most popular flowers people are willing to pay for? That's what I'm looking for. All right.
All right, let's go to Texas, and Ronnie is on the line. Ronnie, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ronnie, where are you calling from?
On Alaska.
Where?
If you can spell Alaska and put on
in
the middle of it, I mean, at the beginning of it, then
I got you.
it.
On Alaska, Texas.
That's a town in Texas? On Alaska. Okay.
Well,
yeah, it's on Earth.
Yes, sir, on Alaska. There's actually another one in Wisconsin. I looked it up.
That's interesting.
So that would have been a good trivia
Yeah.
question. How many on Alaskas are there?
Right.
On Earth. In the U.S.
That's
All right,
right. Well,
touche.
maybe y'all can ask that one, later on.
Later, yeah.
But
We've already
yeah, I
asked
have
that,
a- I
actually.
have a-
We
I'm
asked
a-
that about 3 weeks ago. I don't know if you heard that show or not.
I'm an avid deer hunter, and my son is an avid deer hunter. I want to say a shout out to my son Logan, who's one of the laziest guys I know.
But he can sure deer hunt.
He's probably bowed up right now like a Halloween cat. But yeah, but
I
anyway,
like that.
I have a friend that told me that his sister likes to hunt, and I said, where does she hunt? And he said Alaska, and I said, well, never mind, I'll ask her myself.
There you go. There you go.
Wow.
Hey, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'm gonna do both.
Which one you want to answer?
And, answer the one about the last judge.
All right. Now,
And I think it's a bit of a trick question, because the last judge mentioned in the book of Judges is Samson, but the last judge actually I believe was Samuel.
The last judge was Samuel. The last judge and the first great prophet in Israel was Samuel, and you remember there with Hannah, and then he served with Eli the priest, but all through Judges, and then it says he was the last judge in Israel, is Samuel.
Well done.
Thank you.
Way to go.
That's great.
Way to go, Ronnie.
Hey,
Yes,
and then
sir.
Yes.
what's your question for us?
Well, last week y'all had a question about the guy that Fernando Tatis that hit the 2 grand slams in the same inning.
Yeah, that was my question.
Well, there was another. Okay, kudos to you then. there was another oddity involved in that, and what would be the name of the person that was involved in the oddity of that feat?
All right. Well, hang on. Let's talk amongst ourselves here. I think it was the same pitcher. I think it was the same pitcher that gave up both of those. I don't remember the guy's name.
I thought it was something to do with the hot dog vendor in the stands because it was one of those things where all these different planets aligned. The guy got 2 grand slams in one inning.
Mm-hmm.
The guy had just a real fiasco tossing those hot dogs to everybody.
Yeah.
In
That
row
happens.
17,
It happens.
18.
It's rare.
No, we don't know the answer. What is the answer? I'm going to say something.
I think it was the same
about
pitcher.
The pitcher.
I think it was the same pitcher.
Well, you were right, but it was peanuts. No, it was the same pitcher.
The same pitcher.
What
It
was
was
the
the
pitcher's
same
name?
pitcher. Chan Ho Park.
Yeah, okay. And the only reason I know that is because after the show, at lunch, I watched it. I went to YouTube and found the video
that's
of it.
the only reason. Okay.
And then I saw the pictures, the same guy, and I thought, man, that's a bad day.
Hey,
that'll shoot your ERA up.
Yeah, it sure will. Because he went through the whole lineup again in order for
Well,
that.
it must have been a mop-up duty, and they just said let him take the beating because we're not using it. We're not going to use any more pitchers on a game we've lost anyway.
Yeah,
it's kind of like life.
Yes.
So Ronnie, because we carry on with so much nonsense, you're going to think I'm making this up. This is the honest truth. So the pitcher that threw the pitcher who the very last home run that Babe Ruth hit, the pitcher, his daughter, Tim, Ed, and I have gone to church with his daughter for years and years. His name was, I think it was Guy Bush. But you know who I'm talking about, who
you have said this before.
Yeah.
And I just
and she's
I forget.
recently passed away, but it was her dad. And
it's Gail Patterson.
Gail Patterson's father, I think it was first name was Guy, but it was Bush. He was the pitcher that threw the pitch when Babe Ruth hit his very last home run. And here we have known his daughter and went to church with her for decades.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
All right. That's it. That's it, right?
Yeah,
Ronnie,
Ronnie's
thank
gone.
you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Fun guy.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, he was interesting.
All right, we go to Louisiana, and Jackie is on the line. Jackie, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you.
Hi, Jackie. Ask, answer. But where do you live in Louisiana, real quick, if you would?
A small town called Marthaville.
Okay. Is that near Baton Rouge or where?
No, sir. It's North Louisiana, south of Shreveport.
Shreveport. Okay, gotcha. Well, ask, answer, or both?
I'd like to do both.
Which one do you want to answer?
The one about Elvis?
Here we go.
Thank you very much for wanting to answer. All right. Here we go. Why did Elvis Presley not perform outside the U.S. or Canada? In all his career, he went to Canada, I think, for 1 or 2 concerts, but other than that, he stayed in the U.S., which is unusual because he was
world famous.
World famous. Why was that, Jackie?
I believe it was because his manager couldn't get a passport.
Yes, Colonel Tom Parker was not a U.S. citizen.
Isn't that amazing? Hey!
Oh, wait
wow!
a second.
There we go. What I'm talking about, you just won yourself an AFR stainless steel travel mug. So can you hang around for 5 minutes, Jackie? We got to take a break.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do that.
Yes, sir.
You let that soak in.
Yeah, Jackie, while you're eating boudin, you could be drinking sweet tea out of this travel mug.
That's right.
Awesome.
So we're going to send this to you. We'll get your address, but hold on because I know you have a question for us. When we get back from this short break, Jackie, we'll come back to you, okay? All right. We'll be back momentarily after the news here with half an hour roughly of more edumacation here on Trivia Friday.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
There's a lot happening around us. That's why Christians need to stand strong on family values and morality. Hi, I'm Ray Rooney, editor of The Stand, a blog from the American Family Association. The Stand has timely, carefully written articles on relevant cultural issues that you can quickly forward to others. Visit afa.net/The Stand.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. The judge in former President Trump's Georgia election interference case has allowed District Attorney Fani Willis to continue leading the prosecution, but he said her racially charged rhetoric about playing the race card was legally improper. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee issued a ruling that quashed a motion for one of the state's 19 defendants seeking to remove Willis from the case due to her improper affair with special counsel Nathan Wade. Fox News legal analyst Leo Terrell says this judge failed to do his job.
Remember at the beginning when he had that initial motion and he said, the grounds for disqualification based on actual conflict or the appearance. He found the appearance of conflict. And Harris, he punted his obligation as a judge to Fani Willis to determine the remedy. Let her decide what she wants to do. He failed to do his job as a judge by handing out the appropriate remedy. And I find it very disingenuous for him to downplay her extrajudicial comments she made in a house of worship playing the race card. She tainted the jury pool, Harris, and yet the judge downplayed it. It seemed to me that he found every excuse to allow her to remain in this position, and I find that wrong as a judge.
Constitutional law expert Jonathan Turley says this whole case is political, and the public can see that now.
Where it's political is adopting this novel and I would say unprecedented racketeering claim to encompass all of these defendants, including Trump. They have very little to do with each other than obviously their politics. But in terms of their actual conduct, the indictment is quite weak in establishing any conspiracy. That's where it becomes raw and political. I think the public is seeing that.
Over a dozen current and former female athletes are suing the NCAA over their policy, which allows men to compete in women's sports. Jonathan Hunt has more.
The lawsuit amounts to a blistering critique of the NCAA and its policies that allow transgender athletes to compete alongside biological females. 16 women, current and former college athletes, allege that, quote, the NCAA has simultaneously imposed a radical anti-woman agenda on college sports, reinterpreting Title IX to define women as a testosterone level, permitting men to compete on women's teams, and destroying female safe spaces in women's locker rooms.
A conservative activist and political pundit says it is disgusting and outrageous to see Charles Schumer interfering in the politics and elections of Israel. Chad Groening has more.
The Senate Majority Leader is the highest-ranking Jewish official in the U.S., but during a 40-minute speech on the Senate floor, Schumer blasted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He called on Israel to hold new elections, saying he believes Netanyahu has, quote, lost his way in Israel's response to the Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th that massacred more than 1,200 Israeli men, women, and children. Gary Bowers, chairman of the Campaign for Working Families, who serves on the executive board of Christians United for Israel.
It is disgusting and outrageous to see Senator Schumer interfering in the politics and elections of the nation of Israel. Guess he figures when he and his party use shenanigans during elections right here in the United States, why not try to do it in Israel too?
Schumer's speech drew a swift reprisal from Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell.
I'm glad that Mitch McConnell took to the floor of the Senate in response and said out loud what we all know. The Democrat Party has a problem when it comes to Israel.
And Bauer says Schumer ought to be ashamed of himself for lecturing the Israelis.
The fact of the matter is that Prime Minister Netanyahu is more popular in Israel even today than the position that Senator Schumer took on the floor of the Senate, as well as the current President of the United States of Schumer's party. Benjamin Netanyahu is more popular than Joe Biden.
I'm Chad Groening.
Severe storms with tornadoes have damaged homes and businesses and killed at least 6 people in the central U.S. For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
AFR programming is now available on Alexa.
You're joking, right?
Nope, not joking.
Seriously?
Yep, this is not a drill.
Wait a minute. No way.
There's a way, the Alexa way. So if you just happen to miss your favorite shows, no worries. You can now listen to each podcast with Alexa. It's simple and it's free. Just visit afr.net/apps and click Alexa. We're not joking.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
All right, welcome back to Trivia Friday, also known as Learning University.
That was pretty bad. Wasn't
That wasn't stereo at all.
No, I failed.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't. Also known as
Learning University.
Learning University is on the air for 25 more minutes. We go back now to Jackie in Louisiana. Jackie?
Not just Jackie. Jackie, our winner.
Yep, our
Jackie
winner. She
woke
won
up this morning. She wasn't thinking about winning anything.
No. But life has funny turns. And it happened to Jackie today.
It does.
Congratulations, Jackie. How fun. How do you feel about winning that stainless steel travel mug?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, we know it's changed your life. That travel
Here on Earth.
For
Here on Earth.
For the better.
For the better. And a life-changing experience winning a travel mug.
What's your question for us? Thank you for being patient through the break.
Yes, sir. My husband and I, Kenny, we listen to your program all the time. We think a lot of you guys.
Well, thank you very much. Very kind.
And hello, Kenny.
Hello.
Hello, Kenny. Hello. Okay. I'm sorry.
My question for you guys, which is what is the oldest city or settlement in Louisiana?
The oldest city or settlement in Louisiana?
When she said the oldest city, I almost blurted out Santa Fe. But then she said Louisiana. Is it going to be something Cajun related?
Is it
guys,
is
where they
it
came
South
from
Louisiana or
Acadia?
North, or Middle or North? Can you tell us that?
I'll give you a hint. It's North Louisiana.
Okay, North Louisiana. That would.
So this would be the Acadians.
I'm
came
thinking
down?
Acadians came down, hence all the French.
No, but that's not in North Louisiana. She said North Louisiana.
While we're stalling, Jackie,
I'm gonna say Ruston.
My wife at a restaurant last night, which is odd for this part of the country, she ordered boudin. So that should make you proud. Jackie?
that didn't move her.
No, she might have lost her.
Jackie, you there? I'm gonna say
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say Ruston.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Tim.
He's a geography expert.
It's a city called Natchitoches.
Natchitoches.
Oh, that's that strange.
It's right.
Well, it's also
pronunciation in
you could,
Texas.
and it's also on the menu in
So-
Mexican restaurants.
Oh, that
you get
cheese. That extra cheese. Oh, yeah.
It's on the Texas-Louisiana border, right?
That's its. I believe its sister city, Natchitoches.
Nacogdoches or
Right.
something.
So that's the oldest city in
Natchitoches.
Louisiana.
Really?
Wow.
There's-
Okay.
That's a neat trivia question.
What's it? Well, you got a 30-second brief history for that?
Well, it's spelled Natchitoches.
Yeah, I don't know
So
why anybody
that's-
would do that to
it's-
themselves.
There was a
Right.
couple traveling, and they were having that conversation about how do you say it correctly, and and the spelling of it. So they pulled into McDonald's, and before they ordered, they said, "Would you settle something for us? How do you pronounce this? Right where we are." And the clerk said, "McDonald's."
All right. Well, Jackie, you won yourself a
travel mug.
Travel mug.
Stainless steel.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate you calling.
And Kenny.
And
thank
Kenny.
you
And
for-
Kenny.
thank you both for listening.
All right, I'm going to up the ante here.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
If I can use gambling language here on Christian radio,
Just did.
which we for entertainment purposes only. So
and
Huh?
make sure. Never mind.
So
Be responsible.
I want this question answered. So I'm going to give people the AFR stainless steel travel mug if they can answer it without looking it up. And that is, What are the 3 best-selling flowers in the U.S.? Best-selling flowers in the U.S. is springtime. People are going to start planting in their garden and their flower beds in their yard. I want to know.
It's not technically springtime yet, till the 21st.
Now, are you talking real
on
or,
Earth?
Yeah.
Real or fake flowers? Because this is a new
I'm gonna
day.
milk it. What now? I'm sorry.
Real or fake flowers? Because this is 2024.
Oh yeah. Well, it's real. These are real.
These are real flowers.
These are real flowers
On Earth.
All right. So there you go. On Earth. Yeah.
On Earth.
Trivia Friday it is on American Family Radio. Where do we go next, Ed?
Well, listen, folks, you're not going to believe this. We're going to Massachusetts.
You're kidding.
Oh,
and
wow.
Dana is on the line. Dana, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, I'm in Maryland, but thank you so much.
Oh, okay. It says MA on the computer screen, but
it should say MD.
It's a misprint.
No, it's not. It's
Well,
just.
I'm telling you, I am honored to be on with our esteemed professors this morning. Heretofore, I have not been on your show.
Wow. You're checking all
long
the
time.
boxes.
Yeah,
Thank
Dana. We're in
Well, I've been
Maryland.
holding-
We're in
I
Maryland.
had time to think about it. We're up in the westernmost part. Deep Creek Lake is known for the tourism in this area. We're about 7 or 8 miles from Accident, Maryland. Every once in a while, I'll hear one of your callers on the show from Accident, and that
Uh-huh.
always brings some giggles.
So are you in that? I don't know what you call it. That little panhandle of.
Yes, sir.
The panhandle of where real people live.
Yes, sir.
We're real
We should
guy-
actually be considered West Virginia, probably. We have a lot more in common with the state of West Virginia than the rest of Maryland.
Yeah.
We're quite conservative here.
Yeah, I know. When you say Maryland, most people think Baltimore and liberal.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a lot of conservative folks that live out, toward where Dana lives. Ask, answer, or both, Dana.
I'd like to try both.
Okay, which one do you want to answer?
I'd like to try the Bible question regarding the disciple who followed Christ to the crucifixion.
All right, Dana, here's the question. Only one of Jesus' disciples accompanied him all the way to the crucifixion. Which disciple was it?
That would be Peter.
No. Peter's
Oh.
Peter's always a good guess when you come into the disciples, but it was not Peter.
Okay, I'll have to leave that for someone else then.
Yeah, do you feel bad about that, though, Dana? I mean,
I do. I feel
Okay.
terrible about that.
Yeah. Well, don't
because
feel terrible.
Because you remember, Peter did go to all the different things as they were judging him, all the different trials, but then he denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed, and so he kind of bugged out early.
And he fled. That's right.
fled.
I'll have to go back and read it again.
No, that's good. Hey, what's your question for us?
Okay, we do horseback riding here for the public, and so I have a horse question for you. If you look at a horse, they have this hair on their neck, which is referred to as the mane, and that mane can fall over on the right side of the horse's neck or on the left. If you consider all of the horses, which side of the horse do you think has the most hair?
all right, JJ has owned horses. He's our horse.
He's our horse guy.
Our horse
Aficionado?
Yeah, that.
This may be a trick question. Her last sentence, did you say which side of the horse has the most hair?
Yes, sir.
On
The outside.
The north side.
The outside of the horse.
JJ, you're good. You got it.
JJ
Yes.
got
Is that
it.
the answer?
Is that right?
That is the answer.
High five, JJ. Over there.
But
Yes,
you
that's
had
good
me
one.
thinking about how many hands high, and I was trying to remember which side the mane falls. But then when you said which side of the horse has the most hair, I said, okay.
The north side, but I think they're thinking about a tree or something, aren't I?
Actually,
yeah, you're thinking about where does moss grow on a horse?
yeah.
Which side of
My
the horse
bad.
does the moss
side of
grow?
My bad.
I thought I did think it was a trick question, but I thought she was going to like switch to the tail or something.
Right. Hey, Dana. So you guys have
you do rodeo stuff, Dana?
no,
Or-
I think trail
No.
riding, right?
Trail riding.
We try really hard not to rodeo. We do trail riding for the public. So when folks come to our area to visit the Deep Creek Lake area, we take them out on guided trail rides.
Are your horses gated or no?
Nope. They're just a lot of either quarter horse or paint horse.
Yes.
We do some draft crosses. We like something that's quiet, easygoing.
Are your horses gated?
Yeah,
most of the horses down here are straight.
That
so
seems,
I'm just
that seems like a personal question to me. I don't know.
Dana can explain it better than me, but you have quarter horses, which we always had most of the horses, but you have this specialty horse that's called a gated horse, and the back end swishes side to side, and it's not a bumpy ride. It's just real comfortable and smooth. Is that that was a clumsy definition? Was that close,
and the
Dana?
swishing, that's the dead giveaway if they're gated or not.
Jay, you better stop right there. Ed.
What's a better way to describe that, Dana?
Tennessee walking horses or Rocky Mountain horses are very comfortable and have that nice little glide that you've very aptly explained.
Glide. Yeah.
Hey, Dana, what's the name of your trail riding business?
Circle R Ranch.
So when people are in Maryland and you want to go for a vacation, it's cooler there in the summer, and you can go on a trail ride if you visit Circle R Ranch.
And it's the part of Maryland you don't get carjacked.
That's right. That's on your card, actually.
You're not going to get horse jacked.
That's right.
On riding on these trails here.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Circle R. You said Circle R what?
Ranch.
But that is the part of Maryland where it's very beautifully. It's very scenic, right? I mean, it's got,
Yes, we're in the Appalachian region.
Gotcha.
So not super high up. We're about 2,400 feet in elevation. West Virginia does get quite higher than that, but whenever you cross over into our county, there's a sign along Interstate 68 that says "Be aware" or "Be prepared for adverse weather conditions" because the weather changes quickly.
And I will say this, just as a matter of personal taste, Circle R Ranch is my favorite salad dressing.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Dana,
it was pretty bad.
At this point, we better let you go. Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to AFR.
Circle R Ranch is your favorite salad dressing?
And I can't believe Tim and JJ are mocking my dad jokes. This is
duly noted.
Yeah. All right. Sometimes I can't stop either.
But you've had horses, and y'all have had horses a lot.
Growing up, and then we've had horses for years and years. We love to go horseback riding and have owned horses for years and years.
I don't have time to tell the story, but that reminds me, Circle R Ranch. I mean, we go to a place where you can rent a horse to ride trails. Have you ever done that before?
Trail riding. I have. You guys both have, and neither one of your stories were positive.
No, they didn't end well for me.
No, I was about 17, I think 16. Had just, getting ready for adulthood, and they put me on one of the horses that you go and you pay.
Trail ride,
the trail ride.
All in the line.
These trails were very primitive. Yeah. And I was a horse riding virgin, so to speak.
A novice,
yes.
Probably a better.
Well, okay.
I understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And so they put me on there with 3 other people. My wife, Allison.
See, that's the first mistake. You don't want 4 people on one horse because that costs them.
Well, I thought the same
thing. They're going to get kicked in the
It was kind of awkward.
At some point.
I thought these people were pulling our leg. They're just putting 4 of us up here on the same horse.
No, I knew what you meant.
So Allison, my wife, she was hanging on from the mane.
She wasn't your wife yet, though.
Yeah, no, she was my girlfriend. Anyway, they put us on. Put each individual horses and then sent us off through the trails.
Right.
The horses knew kind of where they were going, and my horse wanted to get back to the stables as soon as it left them. and I didn't know what to do. Only lesson I had was the 5-minute here, get on, say hee haw, pull this, turn that way, see you later. And this guy didn't care. He had my money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So but I guess he knew the horse would find its way back.
Yes.
But that horse started galloping through the trails, and the trails. The trails had low limbs on the trees.
Oh my
and
goodness.
when a horse starts to gallop out of control, and they can smell fear.
Well, they smelled it right away.
You might as well have been wearing cologne. Fear cologne.
Anyway, I just never will forget. That was terrifying. Now, it sounds funny
Have
now.
you been on a horse
but if
since?
you've never been on, huh?
Have you been on a horse?
Yeah,
since?
yeah. I went with David Barton. Went out to
Okay.
in
Texas.
In Texas and Jacksboro.
And when he
Texas.
tried to
Yeah.
explain it to you, he said, "I got this. I've been
I-
on a horse."
But
yeah.
it wasn't real.
No, it was
the
a
one
nice.
in front of
It was a horse you could really. It was a.
Yeah.
But it was one in front of the department store that you had to put money in, right? After
A
that.
lot of quarters
Uh,
went into that.
So I have ridden horses since then a couple of times, and they were more docile.
Yeah.
More
better
tame.
trained.
But that horse that I got on when I was 17, that I'm describing, it went galloping through the woods, and you couldn't do anything to stop it. At least I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I was just ducking. I was ducking pine trees.
Pine limbs, yeah.
And that horse kept on, and it went down. It decided to go straight back to the after about
Must have
30
been
minutes,
lunchtime or
20
something.
minutes, and it started galloping down the middle of the road. I'm talking about
Oh, no.
no, down the paved road.
Oh, my
When I lost
word.
the rein.
Oh, no.
I didn't have two. I had one rein. Listen, I was holding on to the stirrup. I was bent
You mean
over.
the- yeah, hold on to the horn.
The
Saddle
horn.
horn.
I mean the horn, praying to God that I would live. To make it
At
back.
this point, you didn't care what Allison thought. You just wanted to live.
There were cars coming down the road, and the
Oh.
horse
Are
was
you
going right down the
serious?
road.
I've never heard this
Oh,
story.
my goodness. I've
haven't?
heard the story, but I forgot about it being out on the road.
The
Going
horse
through the woods
The
is scary
horse was
enough.
going right down the road. You know why the horse? Because the horse was going back to the stables,
And he knew the shortcut.
and he knew where he was going, and he knew, like you said, JJ, he had a guy on who
They can tell
who
if you're.
didn't know what he was
They
doing.
can really tell if you're nervous.
But have you ever lost one rein?
I have. That's not.
What do you do in that situation?
Well, you said it. You pray. That's the first thing you do.
But you hold on.
Hold on
to
to
the horn,
Yeah,
right?
try to bend over and grab the,
Right.
the loose rein.
Anyway, that was my. I think that was my. Other than a Shetland pony
Right.
that my granddaddy had, that was my first experience on
Right.
horseback right there.
Oh,
so you
my
can see
word.
why.
Hey, we got
Huh?
more 8 Days of Hope guys out here, and we're sure thankful
So
for them.
I just finished up therapy. I'm 61 now, and I've been going monthly.
From 17 to 61.
Yeah, it's called
that
horse
12
trauma
that-
therapy.
That 12-step program, yes.
Yeah.
I've heard you tell.
I've heard you quote part of the 10 steps.
that you wouldn't even watch Mr. Ed.
No, I wouldn't
because
watch
of the
Mr. Ed. It just gave
PTSD.
me-
Triggered.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, back to the phones.
All right, we go to South Carolina, and Buddy is on the line. Buddy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you, buddy? Buddy, are you a horseback
I'm
rider?
great, man.
Are you a horseback rider?
No.
Well, you and Tim will get
I
along
am
just
not.
fine.
I like looking at horses.
I did when I was younger, but I'm
get-
too old now to ride horses.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Buddy, where do you live in South Carolina?
In Florence.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, thanks for calling. But you want to ask, answer, or both?
Both.
Which one you want to answer?
I want to try the disciple question.
All right, buddy, here's the question. Only one of Jesus' disciples accompanied him all the way to the crucifixion. Which disciple was it?
I believe that was John.
It was John. Well
Nicely
done. Well done.
Yeah, you remember he was right there at the cross, and Jesus said to John, "Do you see my
Yeah.
mom?" And said
And
to
he
his
got a
mom, "Do
gift
you
for
see
his
him?
faithfulness.
He's your new. He's
Behold your mother.
behold your mother, behold your son." Like, John, please take care of my mom. After I'm gone.
That was his reward for his faithfulness.
The
Right.
disciple whom Jesus loved.
All right, Buddy. What's your
Yes.
question for us?
The Apostle Paul had 3 missionary journeys. What person in the Old Testament had at least 2 missionary journeys?
We got a resident pastor that's going to know the answer to
Sure,
that.
throw this question at me.
Journeys, missionary journeys from the Old Testament? 2 people did
Yes.
that recorded?
There was at least one that did that.
Oh man, I don't know. This got me stumped. I don't know what
I'm trying
missionary
to think
journey.
who in the Old Testament.
Who
I'm
left?
thinking Elijah, Elisha.
Oh, whoa,
which
whoa,
kind
whoa,
of trail did they
okay.
go on?
Wait, okay. So, hey, don't say anything, buddy. We're going to talk amongst ourselves. So, Jonah went to Nineveh.
Jonah went to Nineveh.
Okay, so who else? Oh, maybe Daniel in Babylon.
Yeah, I don't know. Tim, you're working on an answer there.
Shuffleboard.
No, picking out my lunch.
Oh, okay. Hey,
sorry.
We know we're stumping
I'm
around.
gonna
What's
say,
the answer?
I'm going to say Jonah and Daniel.
Yeah, what's the answer? Excuse me. What's the answer, buddy?
Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat.
Jehoshaphat?
Jumping
How
Jehoshaphat.
do you
Where did
spell
he go?
that?
How do you spell Jehoshaphat? Your program about the end. There's a long name.
Right. Well, tell us the
can't spell
journey.
it, though.
Tell us the missionary journey he was on.
Well, look in 2 Chronicles 19:4. It says again, Jehoshaphat went out and brought Israel back to the Lord.
Huh.
Where did he go?
Out into his realm.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Thank you for that, and thank you for listening to AFR. Have a good weekend.
appreciate it, buddy. So it doesn't say where he went. What he's saying.
He said he went again. He went and brought Israel back. I think back to the Lord. So I guess it's not technically a missionary journey going anywhere. It's talking about bringing them back to the Lord.
Not really spelled out like the Apostle Paul. It just
Yeah.
like a lot of the judges and prophets and things
Yeah.
went out and
I'm down to one question I got left. We're about out of time.
Do we
True.
give them our last time or is that no? We're out.
we
4 minutes
probably get
left.
time for one more.
One more call. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe two. We'll see.
All right, we go to Iowa, and Holly is on the line. Holly, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello. Can
Hey.
you hear me?
Yes, we can. Holly, where do you live in Iowa?
I live in Dike, Iowa, which is just outside of Cedar Falls, Waterloo.
Okay, wonderful. You been there, JJ?
I've been to Cedar Falls. I have, and I'm going to be in Mason City next Saturday. But that's pretty far from you, isn't it, Holly?
Probably about an hour and a half from me.
Okay. Well, I'll be at the community college doing stand-up comedy next Saturday night. If you have friends in that area, please let them know.
Will do.
Hey, ask, answer, or do both.
I think we'll just answer today.
All right. Which one you feel confident about?
Well, I've got my 11-year-old son here, and when you asked the question about the fastest bird, he answered before you gave the multiple choice, so he is very confident in that.
Okay, what is the fastest bird? Is it the golden eagle, spur-winged goose, peregrine falcon, or red-tailed hawk?
The peregrine falcon.
That is correct.
Yes, go
Good
Falcons.
work.
The peregrine. What did you say?
Peregrine falcon.
Peregrine
When they're on a dive,
242
that's
miles
right,
per hour.
Right.
Top speed. That's amazing.
I wonder if some of them die.
Well, they can only do that twice a year because all their feathers come off. It just blows them all off, and they have to wait till their feathers grow back to be able to go out there and race again.
Okay. Again, I don't take this personally, Ed or our caller.
Yeah, Holly.
Holly, Peregrine falcon goes how fast?
242 miles per hour.
I thought it was 142
I don't.
miles an hour.
I don't believe that. Okay.
Okay, well.
So I'm going to have somebody measure it. For us.
You need
So-
somebody with a radar gun.
Yeah.
Pull somebody off of from behind the catch.
242 miles an hour.
Yes.
You burn
It's in
up.
a
You
dive.
burn up.
We're not talking about re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, Tim. We're talking about
I'll show you the website.
falcon
I'll show you
in
the
a
website.
dive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It dives.
It dives.
It folds its wings in and dives.
I'm not questioning you guys. I'm questioning the man who registered the speed. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Hey, we have 2
Holly
minutes left.
and
Holly,
son,
thank you, and your
thank
son.
you.
We got to go. It's time's up. So we
Got
got to
time.
give the rest of our
Okay.
answers.
So we'll get Corrine from Tennessee on next week. Is that right? Okay. Let's do that.
All right. I only have one question remaining. Most people think the birthplace of the motion picture industry was in Hollywood, but it's actually in New Jersey. True or false, guys?
True.
I'm gonna say
It is.
true.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
true.
was just guessing.
True.
Okay. What river forms most of the border between Georgia and Alabama?
I have no idea.
Way down yonder on the.
Chattahoochee River. Yeah, that's a
Chattahoochee.
catchy name. They should make a song about it.
Yeah, I never. You know what? I didn't know that it was served
That
as
was the border. Hey, soccer ball actually used in basketball
No.
until 1929.
I would say no.
100% true.
What?
Yes, it's true. Look it up. They used a peregrine falcon,
That's what.
but that was feathers were getting everywhere, so they switched to a soccer ball.
You want to pinpoint the downfall of our country?
Hey, what's yours, Tim?
The 3 best-selling flowers. You go and
Got to
buy-
be roses in there.
Roses.
No, lilies number 3, daisies number 2, and by far the best-selling flower in the U.S. is tulips.
Wait, are you calling me a daisy, Huckleberry?
Lilies, daisies, and by far tulips are the best-selling flower that people buy in
Because
America.
people like to tiptoe through them.
Says Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Spiritual Heritage Tours with